everyone, and welcome to Shauna Stitches, episode number 16. Today is April the 6th, 2017, and it's about 10 a.m. I was hoping to get some better light this morning. I moved some stuff around in my living room just to podcast, and I don't know, it's not great. I'm still using some overhead lighting, but I think it's better than the last episode, so hopefully it is. Hopefully you'll be able to see the colors. I have been up since 4:30 this morning, which is insane. Normally I work nights, and so 4:30 in the morning is like almost bedtime for me. So very different to be awake. I had some work stuff to do on a long drive, so that's why I was up early, and yeah, I showed up and they told me to go home. So it is what it is. At least I get paid, right? Today I'm drinking out of my Starbucks Oregon mug some Good Earth sweet chai of mine, which is delicious. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. And it comes with a little quote every tea bag. This one says, "Live with no excuses and love with no regrets." So I think that's a good quote to start out our podcast, because I'm gonna knit and I'm not gonna regret it, and I am gonna love it, so perfect. What else? It is pouring down rain outside, so it's a perfect day to stay inside and knit, just like I said. I have no finished objects this week to show you, but I do have some works in progress, and I also have some dream knitting, some things that I just cannot get out of my head, and I can't wait to get started on. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the never-ending Find Your Fade. It is growing a lot. There's the front. So there, I think you can see I've started the 6th color now, which is this multi-gray, brown, cream, and little pops of blue. I think that's a blue one right there. So yeah, I think it's this thing is huge. I think it's transitioning well. As you can see, this little section is getting so much smaller than it was, because that started out as half the stitches when it gets to the full length, and then here's the other side. So if my math is right, and I'm not saying that it is, but if it's right, I think I have 98 rows left to finish this. I don't think I'll be able to get it done today, but I would love to. Like, this is so on my list of things to get finished. Also, just so you know that this is not perfect, because it's not, I dropped some stitches while I was trying to knit this in the car, and I picked them up and didn't realize it, but I picked them up wrong. I think you can see right there. Hopefully that's focusing. But anyway, I picked them up wrong, so they don't look like garter stitch. They actually look like stockinette, just for those couple little stitches right there. And it bugs me, I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't bug me so much that I'm not gonna rip back, because there where you drop the stitches and stuff, there's no way I couldn't fix that, I don't think. I mean, I suppose I could, but it really isn't worth my time. And in the grand scheme of things, you're not even gonna notice. It is getting huge. But it's still, like I've said on my Instagram account, when I post pictures of this, I don't feel like mine is as huge as everyone else's. Cause I'm all turned around now. Yes, here we go. So here to here, that's like half of the fade, because that's the center point. This would be an end point. So it's not, I guess it's more than half of my arm span. There, my fingers are stretched all the way out, and it goes to just past my shoulder. So it's not small by any means, and I'm not a shawl knitter, so I can't really compare it like some people probably could. But I don't feel like mine is massive, and maybe that's because I'm so tall, being 5'10", 5'11". It takes more shawl to cover my body, I suppose. Alrighty, what else? So that is my work in progress number 1. My second work in progress is the Avenue sock, which is the April sock club, New York sock club by Mina Knitting Expat. And I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this pattern. It's like a slip stitch pattern, which I think creates a really cool effect on, especially on this yarn. But yeah, so hopefully you can see that. I'm doing a contrasting cuff, toe, and heel, which obviously all I have so far is the cuff. I chose this gray, which actually matches the gray in the yarn really well. I was happily surprised. It is just a Deborah Norville Serenity Sock Weight Premier Yarn Gray. This is called Charcoal. So nothing special, but it does the job. That's what I need it to do. The other yarn here for the actual sock is a Barocco sock. And if I remember correctly, these do not have colorway names. There is a number here. The number on this is 1471. And if you remember to, I think my last full podcast, episode 15, this was an acquisition that I did purchase specifically for Glen socks. So I'm using it for its intended purpose and right away, which is impressive for me. I still have not started my April socks yet, but just this morning, actually right before the podcast, I did finally pick a color. I was having the worst time, like I want to knit everything in my stash. And I think part of the thing that was kind of hemming me up was not knowing what the pattern was going to be for the sock club. And so wondering, you know, is striping going to work best? Is a speckle going to work better? Variegated, tonal, like I had no idea. So knowing that that worked so well, I happen to have this skein of Barocco sock, which is the exact same yarn that I'm doing Glens out of, but this is color 1413. And it's just this beautiful, I mean, this to me, it's very springy. You have your greens, some blue, the really pretty like floral colors, pinks and orange, which as you know, probably if you've been watching, are some of my favorite colors. I think I'm also going to do a contrasting heel, cuff and toe on mine. And I have this beautiful green, which matches, oh, it's hard, matches the green on there almost perfectly. So I think that's going to be a really nice heel, cuff and toe. And this is Heritage Sock Yarns, or Cascade. Yeah, Cascade Heritage. And this is color number 5612. And I bought this a while back from Craftsy, I do believe is where I got it from. All right. So that is what I'm working on and what I'm about to be working on. That being said, if you watched my giveaway winner video, just that quick little clip where Glenn and I are in Washington, you saw that I had that shopping bag full of yarn. And that was from, oh, I totally knew it this morning. It's from a shop called Sheep's Clothing in Kennewick, Washington. And it was a great shop. I really enjoyed it. The staff was very helpful and friendly, and they just had a really great selection. It was also my first time being in a yarn shop with Glenn, and it was actually it was fun. I let him pick out some things, but it was really interesting because they had some gradient sets there, and I had been wanting to do Mina's For the Love of Rainbow shawl for the longest time. I think literally since she came out with the pattern, it's been in my queue. And I always want to do a rainbow colorway like she has on there. You know, not exact, but to do a rainbow. It just fits in with the name, plus hers is just so gorgeous. I couldn't imagine doing it in anything else. So they didn't have a rainbow one, and I just offhandedly told Glenn as we were browsing around, I said, if they had a rainbow gradient, I would buy it. And so he wanders off and he goes and finds the lady that's working, and he goes, do you have this in rainbow? And of course she's like, no. She's like, but look at this. So I'd already seen this and I really liked it, but I could not imagine purchasing it for the price for a pair of socks, and the socks would in no fashion match, which I don't really care, but these would be like really opposite. So They had this brand, Alexandria's Crafts, out of Silverton, Oregon. So that's local to my state. And it is a complete gradient colorway. So this is, the color that you see on the screen is actually pretty accurate. So it starts with a purple, goes to a red, yellow, green, blue, and then like another purple in the center there. Which isn't like a standard rainbow. I haven't decided if I'm gonna start with that purple on the outside or if I'm gonna start with the red. And actually, I think I pretty much have to start with the purple because if I recall, the shawl probably takes the entire two skeins are really close to the entire two. And I will insert a photo of what the shawl looks like because it's absolutely gorgeous and nothing I say can really describe it, right? But if you look at that, either on the photo or on Ravelry, you'll see that she uses a really nice neutral color to contrast the rainbow. So I picked this color, which is Wonderland Yarns, Queen of Hearts. It's 410 yards, 80% superwash, fine merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And I did fail to mention that this one, the rainbow, is 75% superwash, 25% nylon, and it's 463 yards. So this is super soft, super squishy. I've never heard of this company. Let me see if it says where it's from. Well, it says dyed in the US. Hand dyed by Frab Juice Fibers. I believe that's correct. Frabjous. But I don't see where it's dyed. So this color is called Little Oyster. And it's sort of a cross between tan and gray. But I think it's going to be a really great neutral to go with this. And I'm almost embarrassed to tell you how much this shawl's going to cost, because I guess that's a nice thing about being on vacation, even if it's just a long weekend vacation, is that you don't look at the price tag as much. And I've been doing really good. I have not bought a lot of yarn this year. So I think after I finish my fade, this will be going on the needles. I've already purchased the pattern and everything. So I can't wait to get that started. It's really, really pretty. The other, well, let's see. That was sort of acquisitions and dream knitting in one. So I'm going to go on to finish the acquisitions. I got this skein, which is a Wisdom Yarns Picks. If you've seen my other podcasts, or if you remember, this is the same brand of yarn that I used on my Christmas socks, which I thought were kind of like the Christmas confetti candy or whatever they call that. It's really beautiful. I like the yarn and I really like this color. I almost used this for my April socks, and I still might change my mind. You never know. But this is in the color Techno, which I think is pretty fitting because it's a little all over the place. It actually matches my shirt really well. And this is a 75-25. 100 grams is 459 yards. So I'll be able to make a really nice pair of socks out of that. And like I told you, I did let Glenn pick out some yarns. And this is one of them. This is, I really can't read that. I don't know if that says on light, on live. I don't know. But it is a super sock. I don't know if the sort of line is called London Color, if this is called London Color. But it also has a, I think, a color right here, color number possibly. And this is all in a different language, so I can't tell you much. It is made in Turkey. And this is a gray and tan. I think it's probably going to be a self-striping. Even looks like there's a couple colors of gray in there. So, like I said, he picked that. He also picked a crazy zobber ball, which I'm really excited about. I've never knit with a crazy zobber ball, and I've always wanted one. And he picked this beautiful orange and blue. Really pretty. So this is in the color Herbstone. I believe I'm probably saying it wrong. There you go. But you get the idea. And this, excuse me, I'm not sure. I'm sure this is a 70, here we go, 75-25, just like the others. And it is 420 meters. So about the same as the others. So I'm really excited to use this. Again, I don't know what month it's gonna be, but yeah. So it's nice to let him pick some of his own colors. Usually I like choose 4 or 5 from my stash and let him pick from that. So it was kind of fun to let him just wander around and pick what he liked. He really does like the silk yarns though. I kept having to tell him that's not for socks. All right, so on to other dream knitting. I have these 3 skeins of yarn, which are gorgeous. This purpley one, more blues, and then kind of everything color. These are all Misty Alpaca. And it does say hand paint sock yarn fingering. It's a 50% alpaca, 30% merino, 10% silk, 10% nylon. And I can tell you color numbers, but it's not super important. I guess maybe if you want to know. This purple one is color number HS64. Trying to cover up the price tag. There you go. This mostly blue one, same exact yarn, same exact content, everything. And this is color HS57. This one actually has a color name called Polar Sunset. And the last one is color HS19. It does not have a color name on it either. So I bought these literally when I first started knitting, and in my mind these were for socks because it says sock yarn. And now that I know a little bit more about yarns, yarn content, not that I've ever knit with alpaca, but just with the alpaca, the small percent of merino, and the silk, I don't feel like these are going to be the best socks. Like I think they'd be super comfortable and soft, but I think they would wear out really fast. And actually at that sheep's clothing store that I was in, I asked the lady, because they had some for sale there, and she said she'd made 1 pair, but that she doesn't wear them in shoes. She just wears them around the house. And she's worried about them wearing out as well. So I guess if you've ever used it for socks and it's held up well, I would love to know that, if you can leave me a comment. But really what I think I want to do is I want to knit a brioche shawl. And I'm all over the Knitting Expat Nina Phillip patterns lately. Well, really, since she's the first podcast I ever started watching. I just really like her patterns. So she has the La Mole, I think is how you say it, probably not. But the squishy shawl, which is brioche. And from my understanding, she really has a good video tutorial and walks you through the pattern really well. So I think any one of these would be gorgeous with, a white or neutral, either tan or gray, really light color as the contrast. And I haven't decided which I'm going to use, and that's why I was saying maybe I'll just do 3 brioche shawls. I don't know. I'm on this shawl kick. I don't know what's wrong with me. Because to be quite honest, I only have 1 finished shawl so far, and I've worn it a couple times. It's super nice. I really do enjoy wearing it, but that particular one only matches a few things. It's I've shown it before. It was the, oh my gosh, 3-color cashmere shawl, and I really do love it. But it's 2 colors of gray and then a teal, like a sort of dark teal, not like the color of my shirt. And I do like it. Like I said, when I've worn it, I just don't really have a lot that it goes with. So, I mean, any of those, the 3 colors I just showed you with a neutral background, that's going to go with just about everything, because it literally has almost every color in it. I feel like for the Love of Rainbow shawl, obviously it's rainbow. It's as long as you have a solid color shirt, I think it will go just about anything. My Find Your Fade is gonna match everything under the sun because it literally has almost every color. As long as it's not a busy shirt, I think it'd be okay. And so that's my other dream knitting. And then I talked about last episode how I really want to knit another fade, and I showed you that knit picks. It was a chroma twist fingering that they had all picked out. I think it was like called Broadway Colors or something. So I still really want to do that one, but somehow I have it in my mind. I was working on my fade, I was thinking about doing my Love of Rainbows shawl, and it's in my head, I want to do a solid rainbow Find Your Fade. So it's perfect. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. A traditional rainbow is 7 colors. Find Your Fade is 7 colors. I mean, it is just perfect. So I have an idea of what yarn I'm going to use. It might not be a popular pick, but yeah, I haven't bought it yet. Still thinking about it, but it's really, really on my mind, which is so annoying. Like, it's annoying in a good way. I'm sure we've all been there, but I just cannot stop thinking about these things I want to knit, and it just makes you want to like start them right now. And sometimes I give into that, but other times I'm like, no, you need to sit here and finish some of the stuff first. So that's that. I can't think of much else. I guess I will talk just a little bit about our trip. Like I said, we were just up in Washington for a quick weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We left Friday morning and we came back Sunday afternoon. It's about a 5-hour drive that direction from where I live in Oregon. And Glenn used to live over there, so we were kind of tying up some loose ends, storage unit stuff, and meeting some of his friends that are over there, and that was all really fun because I hadn't got to meet them yet. So, and we also saw my brother and his wife and his kids, so that was really nice. And yeah, mostly just been a lot of work and procrastinating on yard stuff because it's been pouring here. In fact, in the town that I work in, just a couple towns away from where I live, also on the coast, for March, we got over 18 inches, so like 18 and a half, something like that. 18 inches of rain for the month of March, which is pretty normal, but that's a lot of rain. So yeah, that's what it's doing here. Also, we're in the process of planning a vacation, which I cannot wait for. Somewhere warm and sunny. And I'll probably get burnt like a lobster, but that's all right. Yeah. So I think that's it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, whatever day it is when you're watching this. Pick up some knitting and relax. And I guess one last thing, I will tell you where you can find me because I always forget to say that. So this is the Shauna Stitches podcast. You can find my Ravelry group under Shauna Stitches under the groups tab. Please feel free to join there. If I have any knit-alongs, giveaways, new episodes, that all gets announced there. I'm not great at linking everything I talk about in the show notes, but if you have any questions on anything I haven't linked, please feel free to ask me, either here on YouTube or on Ravelry. I also have an Ask Away thread on Ravelry, which as of yet has not been active, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. I can answer there, and I can answer here on the podcast. You can find my Instagram, where I'm pretty active there, under Shauna Stitches, all one word. And, oh yes, my regular Ravelry username is Shauna825. So that's where you can see all of the projects that I finished. I think that's about it. So I'm actually thinking about changing my Ravelry username to Shauna Stitches just to make things easier, but I haven't done it yet. So, all right, guys, on that note, I will leave you and I'll see you soon. Bye.